This video is under fair use. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticisms, comments, news reportings, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing.
CCNTV, bringing you captivating news since 2019.
Hey. Welcome to another episode of Politics and Wellness. I am your host, Captivating Christian, and of course, along with my co-host, brother Nate, who always, is the other side of me that is sometimes far more radical, but then sometimes far more understanding. Just let me know when you're ready, sir. And along with all of you, as today, of course, is Tuesday. And what do we do on Tuesday but talk news, politics, and a little bit of mess? Just an overall smorgasbord, if you will, of everything. I didn't see you, sir. So if you're ready to go, just let me know. All right, cool, great. Thank you. Hey. What's going on, sir?
First of all, let's talk about those big granny panties. Those are some big ass girls. I was like, ooh.
We will talk about the parachute.
We will
talk about them parachute panties later. Because
the panties had Spank Me on it. They were big. I didn't even have to enlarge the screen to see that.
Yeah, them things look like flags. They were just
Ooh,
flapping, and I was just
it
like,
was
goodness.
big.
I,
Mhm.
tush. I mean, you know,
Good
it
evening, everybody.
was
How's
giving me
everyone
very much depends.
Yes, yes,
Victor,
yes.
like
It
if
is.
Victoria's Secret went senior, that was giving me very much
No,
depends.
actually,
Her
that's
secret.
giving me geriatric dick.
Yeah, it's giving me
That's a
definitely
lot of
very
that's a lot of oh.
yeah. Bland food and yeah,
Yes, and
smashed
and
peas. Yeah,
tapioca. That's giving me. That's giving me a lot of tapioca.
it looked like a lot of tapioca was in there. Just
Ooh, woo,
cottage
flat,
cheese.
flat from the back. You got to get down real low. Yeah.
It was just a lot of wind. It was a lot of
Oh, it was a
air.
lot.
It was a lot
Oh,
of air in those things.
oh.
Yeah. First off, I hope everybody has had a great start to your week. Of course, you know, my week doesn't end after this. Usually something else comes out and then I have to gear up for the following Tuesday. So when this begins and ends, I have no idea. It keeps
No,
going for me.
no, it's like
But
as soon as you hang up, it's something
yeah,
else.
yeah. It's like, oh dang. But this is a time where I get to like purge all of my feelings for the previous week and up until this point. So if you hear me, you know, just going off, please don't think that I am ignoring the chat. I usually just, you know, kind of go
Actually, instead of politics and wellness, you ought to call it the therapy session.
yeah, right. I know, right. I know, right. Should give it a whole new name change. But it is very therapeutic. It is quite liberating in that sense. But welcome, everybody. And of course, for those of you who are in the lustrous balcony here at Cap Hill, your waiter or waitress, whatever you prefer, will be around with your drink of choice. Mine today will just be spring water because it's a lot of shit and I got to make sure I cleanse the system out.
Cleanse it.
Yeah. Cleansing that.
No fleeting for you.
No, because it's a lot of shit already on here that I can't. I gotta get it out. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get this ball on the road and get this party started like right now. All right. Now it's time to talk about it. Let's talk about the chokehold heard around the world. I don't even know what to say. How about you go first, Brother Lee? I'll let you go because I feel like. No, I ain't gonna say what I feel like. Go ahead. What's your thoughts?
My thoughts is that the guy he was murdered. It was another.
Right.
It was another George Floyd type.
I agree. I
You know,
agree.
type incident.
Mhm.
And this time, you had someone who was having a mental episode because he was a schizophrenic, and
Right,
you know,
true.
those of us who have dealt with people that do not take their medications the way that they're supposed to, because they assume that they feel better. You know, you see what happens. What happens, and I feel as though they were uncomfortable with this guy on the subway. Which, if you know, we've all been on the subway before, so it's a
free
normal
for
thing.
all. You see all types of people on the subway.
And I have yet, in all my years, I've seen a lot of people with mental issues on the subway, and they're usually just spouting, but they never touch anybody.
Right.
You know, that type of thing. This guy did not, you know, put his hands on anyone or threaten them with bodily harm. And I just think it's a fact that in this climate, they think that they can police black bodies, brown bodies. You know, and he attacked this guy and he murdered him with the help of two other. Now, one guy looked like he was mixed. I don't know. Well, up in New York, you don't know what's what.
Yeah, you don't know what's what. No.
But he has a little tinge to him. The one of the other guys that were holding him down. Now, if he was just a so-called Marine, and he should have known. Just common sense would have told you that after 15 minutes that you suffocated the guy. Okay. Now, supposedly, it's coming out now that the guy defecated on himself. That's a sure sign.
That's a sure sign that he was gone. Yeah,
that he was gone. Okay, everything just lets loose. But I was watching and paying attention to how the news handled it. They went right back to their same old tactics of this guy had been arrested 40 some odd times. Well, it's like, well, yeah, if he is a homeless person with mental issues. And they were going over, I think he might have had one assault charge, striking a woman, but all the rest of them were like petty subway type things.
Right.
But then it says a lot about the city too, that's going to spend X amount of dollars to beef up and up your manpower, but you're taking money away from mental health. And you're in one of the largest cities in the country, and I don't know how the fuck can y'all live up in New York? That shit expensive as shit. You got to sell a lot of ass. And I ain't got that much ass to be selling. It is no $2,000 for a closet for an efficiency. Have you? I mean, literally
less than that. Yeah, less than an efficiency. I mean, it's literally. It
ain't that much head in the world, okay?
No. So a lot of that you said already was definitely spot on in my thoughts, but I just initially I was frustrated, right? Because I'm looking for all of the others who jump out of the woodworks when every time it's a police officer, and we're marching, we're stomping, we're doing all this kind of stuff, making all a bunch of noise. And for a minute, it was kind of, I just want to see what the facts are. There are no facts to be had. No facts to be had. I just was trying to understand, when did regular citizens become police or become law enforcement officers? Because this is what we're saying now. This is exactly what you're saying. You're giving the green light to regular citizens to just feel like, if they feel like policing a black body just because they don't want them in their space, then this type of situation will start to happen all over. The fact that this happened in New York and nobody really said anything or really kicked up enough dust at first, huge problem, because New York is full of people of all different ethnic backgrounds, races, and anything. That was crazy. Holding him for as long as he did, totally crazy. But my mind went to when they started talking about, his mental health. Didn't some, and excuse me, ladies, but didn't some bitch just shoot up a school with some kids and teachers? And we talked about, she had mental health issues, and she's had mental health issues for a very long time, but she got to shoot up a school, killing kids and some adults. This person didn't do anything but just have a manic moment. Even the people who've ridden that subway train and seen him time and time again also stated that he's never done anything. He's, he usually does like Michael Jackson imitations and all this other type stuff. But he's never done anything to harm anyone. This sense of privilege that I just can't shake it. I can't shake this I don't want you here. You violate my space, but because I feel like I have the authority to do so, I will then remove you by any means necessary from my space. And then when I do it, we can praise the fact that I'm a Marine, I'm militarily trained, I'm all these things. Well, if that was the case, you're not in battle. But of course, now we're going to talk about, he has PCSD and all this other type shit to kind of justify him murdering this man. I'm tired. I really, really am. And it's almost like you'll run out and you get the big names in the cameras only for police because that supposedly brings attention. But something like this, where an average citizen does it, we kind of, I need to get more what? What are the police for other than to enforce that shit? So if he was assaulting someone, you can apprehend him, but then you call the police. All that chokehold for umpteen minutes until you literally, they were tapping him like, let him go. Like, he's out, man. He just kept on, like almost like as if he was, if we were living George Floyd all over again. All this and recording and not doing anything, nobody stepping in to do anything. Enough. Because at this point, you want a video recorded and not do anything, you're just as complacent. When normal citizens start taking justifications in their own hands and murdering people, yeah, we're dealing with a whole different ball game. I get it. I don't even like authoritative figures like police officers and things of that nature doing this, but we're talking about average American citizens. Just, I don't want you in my space. Let me unalive you. That's a whole different ballgame.
It's a fantasy, also.
Yeah, it's
a white male fantasy.
Yeah, we're walking into the Purge. Like literally, people. The Purge is just a weird ass movie. No. This is what people want. This is what they want to do. This is what they feel like they need to do to kind of cleanse their society from people that they don't really want to be around. I can't even make this make sense. The fact that this man, this 30-year-old or 30-something-year-old man, is no longer living because someone made the choice that they didn't like him being in the same subway car as them, and they felt that annoyed to where they needed to do that to this man. The man didn't ever touch them. He tried to say that the man assaulted him or pissed on him or did some shit. But it's like, come on, man. The man did not do that to you in that subway car. First of all, no one can leave. When you're in the subway, ever since 9/11, once that shit closed, you're in there till the next stop. And you get out and go into the next car.
That's what I was getting ready to ask you, because I know here you can't move in between cars. And I've always seen, like on TV and shit like that up in New York, that they can that they can walk between cars.
No, they stopped doing that. So yeah, like 9/11 or a little before, because people were dying. People were doing it and dying. So they stopped it to where they locked them. So you literally had to wait for the next stop and get out and go to the next car. If that was, if you didn't like the car you was in.
And another thing, how long is the next stop? If he had 15 minutes, and one more thing. Now the mayor had beefed up the police presence because you also had people that were pushing people onto the tracks down there.
Right.
Why 15 minutes? Why did it take 15 minutes to have
the only thing I can think about that in that sense is that the line that they were on was express, and that's the only little
and that makes fewer stops.
Yeah, it does make fewer stops than the local, so it may be a stretch, but still not a stretch where it's 15 minutes of you being without the next stop. It's at least a couple minutes, but it's not 15. It's definitely not 15. There's no way. I literally think people just sat there and watched, and then when it got like, oh, he's unalive, then people went and ran down the police station or whatever to stop him from doing that. But I just think they literally watched, and people might have said something. I don't know. I wasn't there, but to not do anything and you're watching somebody take somebody's life, nobody has the authority to do that. We don't, and again, these same people, and not knowing what his political standing is, but I can just about guess. But these same people who, are for life and for pro-life and all this kind of stuff of morality are the ones out here doing the most, killing folks and just unaliving people for what? Because you feel like you're justified in your authoritative figure, in the God that you worship that looks like you, in the history books that you've read about the strong male white patriots who fought and took this country from the native people that were already here.
You on the fucking roll tonight, aren't you?
I'm just really just confused, man. I can't.
Yeah, chilling in the Heights said you could still walk in between cars, but
You
they
can?
shouldn't. I said they can, but you shouldn't.
I know them shits was locked for a minute, and we had to literally, you had to wait to the next stop and go around to the other car.
Mm-hmm.
But that it's just, and the fact that there's no kind of, like, if we're gonna have this talk about being humans first, right? Then everybody should have that same level of respect. You may not like me because I may not, look like you, but the fact that I'm a human, that should garner your respect. To be like, no, whatever. But the fact that we're not even still at this day and age, 2023, not looked at as human, or that we are valuable, or that our lives matter. Are we, while we're having situations still like this, even after all the stuff that has already happened? Yeah, I'm prayers to that young man's family. Because how do you explain that? And then all the city is going to do is throw money at it, like it's going to make it go away.
Mm-hmm. I think the father's the only one living. His mother was murdered also.
Oh, that's crazy.
And he actually, the mother was found in the suitcase up in New Jersey. Her boyfriend had murdered her, and I don't know if he witnessed it, but he was old enough to know what was going on. He was 14 at the time.
Oh wow!
So
that could
they probably one of those things, which really set him off,
right?
But yeah, I mean, it's a white male's fantasy to be able to dominate. It is basically domination.
Yeah.
I mean, anytime you walk up on a total stranger that isn't doing anything, there is no law about you.
It's because
you're feeling.
It's because these saltines grow up with this kind of wild west mentality, like this John Wayne. They are, they're the law and the executioner type of fantasy. Like this, that's what I told you.
It's a fantasy of theirs. That's why they love the video games. Yeah, that's why they love high violent video games. Because you can almost do it. I mean, a lot of these games are so realistic now that you can you could kill your opponent and things like that. But there's no repercussion because it's a game, that type of thing. But that's a fantasy. And when you're supposed to be the dominant species on the planet, everything else, they're ants.
But that's the lie they tell you. Well,
no, that's the lie they tell them.
Speaking of lies, on to the next story. Former Florida gubernatorial candidate found not guilty of lying to the FBI. But nobody's talking about it. They talked about it for like the one news cycle and then it was gone. But this man needs to be cleared completely of what they accused him of to the FBI. They accused him of lying to the FBI. He was found not guilty of lying to the FBI. Of course, they did this to, of course, continue to derail any hopes he had for running for any office of political stature in Florida.
What was he supposed to be lying about?
He was supposed to have been lying about some when he was mayor. You know, I'm not doing this. When he was mayor in Tallahassee, there was also some can campaign finance things that he was supposedly had lied about.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Was it him and another mayor or somebody else, some other official?
Yeah, it was
Okay.
Sharon Letterman Hicks. So they once was, of course, rising stars in the Democratic kind of race for governor, turning Florida blue back in 2018. But then, surprise, surprise, he lost. And then this tape came out, a video of him in a compromising position with other males.
Oh no, he was down in Florida. That's when he was down in Florida. He was drugged up, right?
Right.
Oh, I thought they were questioning about him taking 12. I don't know. Maybe if he was a bottom, I don't know.
You know what? I'm not going with you. And all these things, and then of course, you know, he did the whole thing, him not claiming to be any sexual or knowing anything about his sexuality or discovering his sexuality, which I think at this point, why do we care?
Yeah, I was a good.
You know what? Why do we care? It's like, if the person can do the job, let them fucking do the job. If y'all can let these honky crackers do jobs and fuck shit up, why can't we just let people do the job that we entrust them to do and stop worrying about who the fuck they're fucking? Like, if his wife lets him, you know, have a little dick on the side,
she knew,
and you know what I'm saying? Like,
she was going for the ride. They had an agreement. You give me 2 children, you put me where I want to be.
Right. You set me up, I'll set you up. Right.
I'll be your beard. Mm-hmm.
Right. You set me up, I'll set you up.
She probably told him when he got home, I told you, dumbass,
to leave them crackers alone.
No, when you work your way up, you just don't go to the top.
Leave them white people alone. I'm telling, and no offense to you know, my white followers and friends, but I mean, as far as climbing the political kind
ladder.
of ladder or the ladder of success, it's always like, cling to this white person because they'll save you or take you in places where you need to. Stop believing that shit, because a lot of them just want to destroy you. They don't want to see you elevated any higher than they are. And it's been proven time and time again. Look at the NFL player, Sam Smith, whatever. I mean, you know, you got this little white Tinkerbell on your arm, and he's like, "Oh, come out and let the NFL know who you are." And they're like, "For what? Why would you do that? Just do your job. Like, just do your job. What does it matter who you fucking? You there to play football. Play football. Get your money. Then after you come out, and you know, you can do whatever, say whatever, or whatever you choose to do. But why? I really just don't. I don't get it. Even in this, it's like your role in that state was so important that I know, you know, losing so close to something that you wanted was devastating. That part I get. But you're in the game of politics. You win some, you lose some. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just don't give up and throw in the towel like that. And then not to know that they were just looking for something to really hang you on, and you gave it right to them. Police came right in. They didn't ask no questions. They didn't try to revive him or anything. What they do? Start snapping pictures of him passed out, drugs over here, him naked, laying on the floor, you know, and then all of a sudden, ass tooted in the air. But the 2 men that invited you to this joint, oh, they fine and they're able to do interviews and talk. Come on, man. Like, it's just shit. Like, it's a setup. Can't you smell that shit? It smells like shit. Bullshit. But you know, I'm glad that they were able to exonerate him in regards to that, and this should be told more than the one time it's told.
You didn't even hear that.
Because that man needs to be exonerated for what they put him through in regards to that, trying to completely tarnish his reputation. But speaking of a tarnished reputation, I'm just rolling right into these things. They just seem to be just happening. Darnell. Darnell has been found liable of battery and defamation in the defamation case with E. Jane Carroll. The suit, the woman that claims that Trump, R'd her, but the jury did not find that he did R her. However, they did find him liable. Why? Because he can't keep his fucking mouth shut. That's why. Because when they showed him a picture of him, Jean Carroll, and his ex-wife, the one that died, he's like, well, personally, I wouldn't even talk to you, talking to the attorney. You're not my type either. And she's definitely not my type. Oh, I would never. Oh, so they showed him a picture. He's like, oh no, that's my wife. And they're like, who's your wife? That's my wife right there. That's Marla. That's my wife, Marla. It's like, no, that's Miss Carroll. They was like, that's Miss Carroll. That's so-and-so, and this is so-and-so. Oh, it must be the picture. It must be the picture. No, bullshit. You know your type. Your type is Marla Maples, what she looked like. Your first wife, that's your type. And that's just what you was hanging around. So yeah, you did it. And it's cool. You said it. He said it again. When they asked him about the grabbing women by the hoo-has, by the pussycat. He talking about some, yeah, they let you do it. I mean, it's a sad thing, but I mean, they still let you do it. What? But this is the man that y'all let run the country for 4 years. That y'all just was like, well, let's just see what he does. Okay, so if he grabbed your daughter or your wife or your girlfriend or your whatever by the pussy, you would just let him do it because he's Darnell. I mean, make that make sense. I know a lot of times people always go, well, it doesn't affect me because it doesn't affect me directly. But think about it for a second. Take a minute and just close your eyes and think about it for a second. You got a daughter. You got a wife. You got a girlfriend. You got a niece. You got a cousin. Hell, you got a grandmama, a mama. I mean, somebody just feel like they can grope your loved one just because they feel like it. Because they're a star. And you just supposed to sit back and let them do it. We get so like, well, it ain't got nothing to do with me. It's not my problem, but it will be your problem. You see what they're doing right now. The laws they're enacting right now to tell you what to do with your pussy. They doing more than grabbing it. They telling you when to open it and when to keep it closed. But this is the same type of stuff that people go, oh, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't nothing to do with me. Bullshit. It has everything to do with you. As women, and especially black women, you're the largest voting bloc for this Democratic, whatever you call it, whether you're Democratic, Independent, Republican, whatever. If y'all don't start knocking down these doors to telling any of these motherfuckers, y'all keep making these shits and we won't move a muscle for nobody, they'll start changing their tunes. It's because you'll fall in line every time. Because this is crazy. This is literally crazy that a white woman got to come out and give white tears against another white man. And they say, you know what? We're not going to give him rape because that's a bit far. And even his own lawyer was like, well, whew, at least he didn't get charged with rape. What do you mean? So they didn't charge him with rape because they didn't want to do that. Because again, he's still white, but he's liable. Well, if you liable, how are you liable, but you didn't rape him? Make that make sense. I don't know. I'm done. Your thoughts?
Hey, Tadari, how you doing? How'd everyone coming into this?
Hey, hi everybody.
I think in his mind, when he tries to defame her, he's looking at her now and not 20 or 30 years ago. Vastly different. I guess whatever he calls himself, making the point to the,
To the people.
to the people.
Yeah.
That's not his type. It's like, no, you're looking at her now. I mean,
Right.
that's in his mind.
Yeah. But I mean, like, truly, even if we were going to even go down that road, all right, say we're going to go down that road, that's not his type. Melania now compared to Melania back then, mail order bride.
Not just her, but what's his first wife's name? The one that passed that he got her buried on the golf course.
Right. How respectful is that?
She looks like she's from Latveria or somewhere.
She is. They were all mail orders. Mail orders. The first one, mail order.
Mm-hmm.
The only one that wasn't is Marla Maples' ass.
Thank you, Ivana.
Yeah.
I mean, before she fell down the steps or got pushed, she was
because she knew the shit. And she another one that probably was going to blow the whistle on his ass because he either could not pay or stop wanting to pay something. So she was like, all right, cool. You don't want to pay, Donald? I'm going to make you pay. And she wound up paying a face full of marble steps because
yes.
Yeah.
And they showed those steps. They look hard as shit.
Hard. No way you falling down and making it. No, you can forget about it. It's definitely
crumpled up at the bottom like paper. Hey, Lynn, how you doing?
Just straight up pretzel. No way. It's like, what's that movie? Death Becomes Her. Y'all needed to get Bruce Willis and do his magic to bring her back to life after that shit, because she was definitely dead on arrival, hitting the bottom of those steps. So and talking about hitting rock bottom. These Proud Boys better start lubing up because they'll be bottoming for a while. They have been convicted of sedition in the case against the January 6th, planning to overthrow the government or interfere with the transfer of power. I'm so tired of hearing about this. It's just like, bitch, it's on video. I really just don't. What are we talking about? The semantics of who said what, who sent what, whose text were they following? I mean, that part to me is so like, what? What are we talking about? You see it, don't you? You see them on video. You see them breaking in to a federal building. You see them doing this and doing that. So then, okay, what are we talking about? All this back and forth and, ooh, let's see who conspired to do this. Yeah, this was all a plan. Noted. He knew it. He's been talking about it since day one, since 2016. If I lose, it's a conspiracy. They're trying to. If I lose, it's because they rigged the system. He won. He was surprised he won. He said, "Oh shit, I actually won," because he wasn't planning to win. He was planning to amp everybody up just like he did, to have everybody just run crazy, and then for him to go, "I'll make them stop if you pay me." Because that's all this is about. This is about ramping the ants up for them to do crazy shit and for him to sit back and go, I can make them stop. You know I can. I'm the only one that can make them stop, and I'll make them stop if you do this for me or if you like make this go away. This all this is. It's used for leverage. He doesn't care anything about being the president of the United States. He could care less. He likes the fact that he gets to be on TV and, you know, people talking about him all the time constantly, because that's what he likes. It makes him feel important because he's a little man. But as far as like really making policies, really doing things, no, he don't care shit about that. All he wants to do is make money. That's all he cares about.
Yeah.
And he ain't really that good at that. Because all he does is like rob stuff and he takes the money and runs. That's it. Mm-hmm. So I really just don't. I mean, you know, and for these groups, you know, these hate groups with these Spanish name, quote unquote, light-skinned white boys or fake white boys. I'm lost. I'm really lost for words. Cause not just him, the dude in Texas that just shot up some folks. I'm Mauricio Garcia with the swastikas tattooed on his chest and
Yeah,
shit.
you mean the white adjacent?
This little alien nerd looked as white as the day is Spanish as the day is long. But I just what are they running out of Aryan white members? What are they reaching out? Are they doing a rainbow coalition of hate? Is that what we're doing now? Are we no longer a pure Aryan white organization? We're like whosoever will. Is that what we're doing? I mean, I don't understand what's going on with these hate groups here.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
really,
Tanara, you go ahead and handle your business. I know that one well. We'll be right here.
yeah, we'll be here. And it is
Yeah.
always a pleasure, Tanari, to see you. I don't know. I'm at a total loss. I mean, this man had a whole YouTube video scheduled after he murdered those people to take off his little scream mask and gloat about the murders he committed. What is wrong with these people? But they're not crazy.
Whole lot of crazy. You can say they're not crazy, but there's a whole lot of crazy.
But they're not crazy. They're patriots. To whom? This is not domestic terrorism. Who said not? Both leaders of the FBI and CIA had already been in front of Congress plenty of times and said that the terrorism that you're expecting from foreign nations will be happening right here with domestic terrorist groups. I'm telling you now. Since 2016, they've been saying this. Everybody's acting like this shit don't matter. And every time somebody does some shit, it's always, mental health. Oh, I don't know what was wrong with Roger, Mauricio, Mr. Garcia, this one or that one. Who the fuck cares at this point? People are dying. Kids are dying. But yet we want to talk about, we care about the kids. Keep these drags away from the kids. Don't teach these kids no gay shit. Don't teach these kids no black shit. What? I'm done. Any thoughts, questions? Please make sure you read these articles for yourself and stay up on it because this shit is really happening and it's getting so frustrating that I just don't even know what to do with myself. Because we got politicians out here doing all kinds of crazy bullshit and making laws that really affect us all. Although I don't live here, I don't see this. It doesn't affect me now. You're right. What happens in Florida don't affect me now. But Florida is just the tip of the iceberg. Then there's Texas. Then there's Alabama. Then there's Tennessee. Then there's Louisiana. Then there's
That's a lot of tips.
Yeah, it's a lot of tips. So somebody's getting fucked. So many tips. After a while, you start to get fucked. I mean, it goes from let me just put the head in to full on. It's on and pop it. So I mean, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? All it takes is a couple votes. You understand? We don't have. There is not that much stronghold in the Senate, right? To hold anything back. We already don't have the House. So that just means that come 2024, if they were to flip the House and if they were to keep the House and flip the Senate, that's it. It's a wrap. It would be for every state to actually enact whatever bullshit that they want to bring across.
It will be a free for all.
And I don't think people get that. They just think that there's some kind of safety measures to stop the onslaught of, we don't give, at this point, we don't care who the fuck is in office. As long as we have enough to really make moves, we will do it.
If you haven't come to the realization now that those so-called fail safes that they were supposed to have in place aren't holding,
He threw them out.
You see how fragile everything is. You have 3 branches of government. They none of them worth a goddamn.
No,
okay? They're all corrupt.
Thomas is showing you every day that one, the main one that is there to basically ensure that the laws from way back when are still being adhered to even now, and any kind of interpretation of said constitution is still followed in every single law that we create today. If he's not showing you that there is no guardrails at all the stuff that comes out daily about his ass, and let alone let's not forget Chief Justice Roberts and Kavanaugh and Gorsuch ass now. So I mean, it's a free for all.
That's right. Oh, and don't forget Jenny. Don't forget Jenny.
I mean, and the wives getting in on the shit. So it's just really, 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 really crazy. I know there was
good evening, everybody coming into the chat. Hey, Baps.
Hey everybody. Welcome. I can't see my list. I think was after the Texas dude, was it Herschel Walker, or did I have?
You had Herschel Walker, Texas, 10-year-olds.
Did I have? I had George Soros in here somewhere. I mean Santos, old Fruit Loops.
Facing federal charges.
Okay, which one was that one?
That was at the very bottom.
Oh, is it? Okay. Well, I'll just do it now since I think I have it. Where'd you go? Where'd you go, Fruit Loops? Oh, gosh. Can't find it now. Where'd it go? It's somewhere back here. I hate when that happens. But anyway, real quick. I can't even find it. I don't know where it went. But anyway, George Santos. You know, your favorite politician out of Long Island, New York, who lied about everything.
And he's still there. That's crazy shit.
And
he's still there.
Sitting in Congress right now.
I think he's just hoping we'll forget that he's even there.
Well, that, and then he's utilizing, but the thing about it is he's utilizing the things that people have gotten away with right now to justify him being there. And that's just what he's going to use. I mean, granted, I don't know how effective it's going to be when it's time for, you know, to actually face judge, you know, as far as the stuff he's done. But that's all he's doing. He's just following the playbook of the rest of these mofos and just like, okay. So they have been charging him with crimes and investigations involving his campaign finances and other things. But a lot of the things that he's done are not technically illegal when running for public office. So that's why they don't know how to like really go at it. That's why they're trying to look at like his finances and things of that nature to kind of hit him with, okay, you did some campaign financing, illegal campaign financing things, then we can get you on that. Because they can't get him on, oh yeah, you lied and said you went to school, you lied and said you worked for Goldman Sachs, you lied and said you worked for Citi, you lied and said you did this. They all do that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, who doesn't?
Yeah, they all do that. So that's like, you know, they don't really, but actually trying to get him on campaign finances, they may be able to stick him a little something. But then, you know, he can turn and look and say, well, Trump did it. You didn't stop Trump from running from office. You didn't kick him out. This one did it. That one did it. You didn't stop them. So I don't know. I think he's just sitting there twiddling his little pump stilettos and just waiting for them to really charge him, and then for him to get a lawyer who's just in it for the shits, who's who wants some screen time just like he does, and ready to make them eat crow with their own words. So I think that'll be fun. And speaking,
Patty, I think I would just want him to sashay away.
Yeah, I mean, right, pretty much, pretty much.
Just sashay away.
Now sashay away. But yeah, he needs to. And someone else who needs to go away and still not going away, almost like a herpes sore or some kind of like bump or something that you're really just trying to get rid of, and it just doesn't want to go away. Herschel Walker.
The gift that keeps on giving, this motherfucker.
But even with him, it's like they knew this. He was using a shell company, funneling campaign finance money into it. That the company didn't exist. The company was belly up, but he actually had borrowed or allegedly was asking this millionaire for funds for his campaign and taking the campaign money and putting it in a business to basically say he was running this company. I don't know if that was to show like a portfolio as far as voters were concerned, but just hearing him talk, and I don't like to down people just from assuming, but just a little bit of things he said, I'm just thinking
a little bit. What are you talking about?
Thinking, what business were you running? Was somebody running this for you? And I really just think there were people behind him kind of making these businesses, and he was just the face. He was just the face because he's a Heisman Trophy winner and all this other kind of shit. So the same thing that they did to OJ, he's not, look, he's on Naked Gun 2.5 and 2 3/4 and all that shit, and running through the airport for Hertz. They did to him, so he was the face of whatever.
It was the Jerry Lewis Foundation that was behind him. That motherfucker motherfucker's retarded. He's retarded. He took too many headshots on that football field.
He might have taken some headshots. But yeah, so Herschel Walker is finding himself in a load of doo-doo. So hopefully he finds those werewolf and vampires to help him get out of this, because basically whoever's been really handling the finances has been taking money from the campaign, putting it in these shell companies that he claims he has that are in his name because he's the sole face and CEO of it. But I really don't think he has the workings or the ins and outs of these things. And now they're coming to knock on his door and collect. Now, all of this,
he's just a puppet. He just got a hand up his ass.
Yeah, of course, a few hands. He's got a few hands up his ass. That's what it is. That's the problem. But the sad thing about all of this is, had he won, and even while he was running, did you hear anything about all this? No. Why? Because they were keeping it under. They were keeping it under wraps. Because you know what the game plan was? That if he were to win and if he won, they were going to drop that bomb. Mm-hmm. To then remove him from the seat and put somebody else in the seat that they really wanted. Right. But now that they don't even have to do that anymore, they can just drop the bomb. See how they do that? You're Republican white fellows. You're equal opportunists. We believe in free America for everybody. Yeah, but we'll just hold your hand until we drop you over the edge, because that's just what they did. And I don't even believe Herschel Walker knows how to run a company, let alone a shell company, and get a millionaire to donate about a good $500,000 to his campaign without somebody who really knows about campaigning and can really pitch Herschel Walker winning for another person to give up $500,000. Because I don't see Herschel Walker doing it. I really don't. Talking about vampires and werewolves, I don't see it. Call it what you want. But it ain't Herschel. It ain't Herschel. Tell you, it's them saltines, child. They get in your ass, and that's it. That's it,
You
man.
know
They
they're
don't
bad for you. Give you high
high
blood
blood
pressure.
pressure. Yeah, that's it.
All
That's
that
it.
salt.
That's it. That's all. Poor Herschel, poor thing. But and we're back on the fuck them kids train because Texas, there's a bill that they're training third graders. That's right, I said third graders to use battlefield tactics to defend themselves against armed shooters. Let me say that again. Third graders. Oh no. So third grader can't learn about Black history, can't be read stories by drag queens, can't participate in anything other than something that looks like what was that? The Leave It to Beaver. But you can train them in guerrilla warfare. Children. The same children that we pride and we love our children, and I won't have my children read this shit, but you can wrap them up in tactical gear to go to war. With whom? Oh, some other nutcase who wants to come in and shoot up the school. Okay. This makes perfect sense. This all makes perfect sense. I see it. I see it. Don't you see it? Do you see it, Nate? Yeah, you see it. What better way that I will feel safe than little Billy over here, armed to the gills like Rambo, with gun power bigger and stronger than him. One shot, he go flying through the damn wall with the damn gun. Yeah, I'm safe. All right.
Well, I figure they can do that since they plan on putting them to work.
Yeah, I mean, fuck them kids. Fuck them kids. That's it. These kids are gonna be walking around here like they ready to go to war.
About 8 years old, Patty. About 8 years old. And
third graders.
When all they had to do is put a ban on automatic weapons.
That's it.
Which we had before we had all these shootings and shit when Clinton was in office.
You couldn't. I mean, what's the big deal? Like what? Like, are you waiting for something? I really think these people are waiting for something. They're just waiting for the green light to go. You know what? Let's have a purge. Let's do it. Yes, let's do it. And then, okay, I'm already ready, set to go. Bam. That's all you waiting for. Because I can't see it.
State houses. I want to see that shit. That's what I want. Take that shit to their front door.
This shit is crazy. Like, it makes no sense. Children. So then if the child doesn't know how to properly utilize that, you know how many more people are going to die because the child's going to accidentally unalive somebody because they're trying to protect and serve. They're children.
I guess they figure they can't get the teachers to carry, right? Remember that idea?
Yeah, well, I mean, so you can't get the teachers.
No, because actually, them teachers been to pop them kids.
Right, but now you're going to give permission to the kids to pop the teachers.
Now you got, especially if don't take them cell phones away, boy.
You know what I'm saying? Like, no, you can't have snack time, Billy. Oh, really? You know what I'm saying? Like, make it make sense. Make it make sense. If I'm the teacher talking about some, you know what, everybody, y'all have not behaved yourselves today. No recess. Everybody stays inside. Now I got to worry about my goddamn life.
Pat.
Right, because Todd over here with a sawed-on shotgun ready to shoot me. Like, I mean, I just don't make sense. It just don't. They glorify guns and all this type of shit here, like it's a great pastime, and nowhere in this white book of religion does it talk about grabbing your guns and defending yourself. I do recall some things saying you live by the sword and you die by the sword. I recall that one, but I don't recall, pick up your guns and pitchforks and we always have to fight for liberation of what?
Well, it's not only that. The Second Amendment was basically designed for keeping us in check during slavery times, because remember, at one point there were more slaves than actual
Than actual people, white people of any kind,
colonists or whatever.
Wealthy and or otherwise.
And it would take weeks if a remote area was overrun by unruly slaves.
Mm.
So that's why they really want to hold on to these things. All of it goes back to all this shit that happened hundreds of years ago. They're still reciting doctrine from hundreds of years ago, and it's ridiculous. None of this stuff has ever changed.
I mean, some states just removed not too long ago removed slavery from their actual constitutions, from their state constitution. Yeah. No more than at the most 10 years.
A lot of that stuff is still active. I mean, but it's like it's so much it's like paper on top of paper on top of paper. It's just buried. But they pull it out when it's convenient.
Yeah, but of course. Of course. And along with the same vein of fuck them kids, yes, 10-year-olds among the hundreds of children found working at your local McDonald's. So I guess
my order's always fucked up.
Yeah. So that's said
probably why we don't have
ice cream machine. Yeah, right. They said, "Oh, you want Happy Meals? I can make your lives very happy. Come on and work for us." It's almost like the Willy Wonka of the Willy Wonka in real life. Ronald McDonald is working these kids. Charlie's working these kids. So 10-year-olds have been discovered working unpaid and working late hours up till 2 a.m. Now, what goddamn parent is allowing their child? That's child abuse. To work till 2 a.m.
Tennessee.
2 a.m. My God, today.
And they probably hoping at the end of the night when they close up that they bring home something to eat.
Yep, but this was McDonald's in Louisville, Kentucky. Operated, in Louisville, Kentucky. Shame for shame. Jesus Christ. Late hours, up to 2 a.m. And these 10-year-olds supposed to be in school. Learning.
They are. Hold the pickles, hold the lettuce. Special orders don't upset us.
You graduated from Burger College. You've got a degree in burgerology.
That's right. And patty flipping.
Right. It's like that, in Coming to America. First, now, like, what do you say? Then I'm on the fries. And that's when the big bucks start rolling in. When it was...
I'm the fry guy. Yeah. Franklin, what's his name? Franklin or Freddie's got a job.
Yeah.
At McDonald's. I'm like, all right, that's cool. Yeah, keep you out of trouble. Put a little money in your pocket. But
that was Calvin.
Calvin. Yeah, Calvin's got a job. I'm so proud of you, Calvin.
All right, Calvin got a job. But bullshit, 300 children, including two 10-year-olds, have been found working at the McDonald's restaurant across Kentucky and several other states, violating federal labor laws from the Labor Department. And they're just finding this out? Yeah. In one case investigated,
they've been looking the other way.
Two 10-year-olds who were working unpaid until 2 a.m. The McDonald's restaurant in Louisville operated in that department. The Louisville Department of Labor had discovered upon pairing all of these stories together from hearing from a violation from one of the restaurant. I don't know if it was a parent or someone else who kind of...
No, it's probably me because my shit wasn't in my bag. My nuggets was not in my bag. Where's my sauce? I asked for sauce. But you know what But you know what it's stemming from, and I think I might have said it last week, or maybe a couple weeks ago, with Kentucky loosening their child labor laws.
Oh yeah, because they got that Huckabee bitch in there, don't they?
Yeah, but with
That
all the
Huckabee.
deaths, all the deaths from maybe lose my train of thought. With all the deaths from chlamydia from the past 2 years, and the deaths that are still occurring because we're still in a pandemic. We have a labor shortage, and then we have the people are being held up at the border that would normally come in, that would normally come through and do agriculture and things like that.
Yeah, for the cheap.
So now they're trying to revert back into using children. And what do you think about Florida?
Can I have some more?
With all the what do you think about Florida? With all DeSantis Friday, that new bill went into effect with all the migrant workers, and they had all those construction sites that are empty. I hope y'all didn't buy a condo or the timeshare, because it'll be in time before you get it.
Oh, not even that. You hear that they won't even let the Chinese buy any land in Florida. So they said no to the Chinese. So, I thought I know a lot of y'all thought y'all was in there with swimwear, but he said no to y'all too. No.
No, they want Florida to be lily white.
Yeah,
they want all the desirables to leave.
Oh. Well, it's a lot of. They need to get rid of a lot of their trash, because it's a lot of. I was there. There's a lot of of saltine trash in thingy. And they need to learn how to drive too, because goddamn, every day it was like a bumper accident on that goddamn highway. Like, goddamn, what are y'all doing?
It's God's big waiting room down there too.
Yeah. Well, he needs to clear it out a little bit, because some of them people
back up on aisle 5.
Right. We clean up. And speaking of trash, Harlan Crow, Uncle Clarence Thomas's gracious benefactor, has been paying his grandnephew private school tuition. And people are acting like they surprised. Bitch, the nigga bought his mama's house.
I ain't never heard no shit like that.
Right. Bought your mama's house. He's replying. I wouldn't be surprised. They went to that all-male retreat. And I mean, I don't think he's been hitting Jenny since Jenny's been hitting Jenny Craig. But I can't.
That's just very
intimate. That is extremely intimate. You haven't even heard anything like this, like Oprah paying for Gail's children's tuitions, even if she may have. You didn't hear anything like that. Like, this is just like, you are a Supreme Court justice, and this person has not only bought your mom,
you making all this money any goddamn way. You can't pay for your own mama's house.
You're making enough money to buy your own mother's house, right? But this man has bought your mother's house,
geriatric dick,
right? Paid for your grandnephew's private school tuition in the tunes of a couple of hundreds of thousands of dollars. I mean, somebody's giving up the little booty.
Like I said, Anita Hill tried to tell us.
Somebody, it's a long silver. He was just swinging it around.
Coca-Cola can. She tried to warn us.
Yes, I don't know. I mean, I mean, what more do we need to know? What more do we need? Do you need pictures? Do you need naked pictures of Clarence Thomas and Harlan Crow in the bed, snuggled up? Thank you so much for buying my mom's house that I grew up in. It was such a sweet gesture. And now letting my mother stay in there and pay you a little bit of rent.
Yeah, until she dies.
Right. Till she dies. Oh gosh. I mean, the private trips, the use of the private planes and islands.
For a lot of profits was being used.
Yeah, just a lot of perks. A lot of perks.
And a lot of pokes.
A lot of pokes, a lot of perks. I mean, once you get the tip in, that's it. It's smooth sailing after that. It's just get on in there like swimwear. Just what can you do?
Crazy. But I wonder what it's going to be next week, because for the past couple of months,
there's
just
more.
one thing after another.
There's more. I'm sure of it. I'm sure there's so much more.
And seeing what the other justices have, what they've done.
Yeah. Oh, it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. I think the only person that probably hadn't done anything is Miss Jackson, and that's only because she knew.
Yeah.
And she knows the stakes of her position, because she knows they would immediately.
They were looking at you,
looking at her too.
Even though you have a white husband.
Yeah,
they don't care.
They don't know. No, they don't. Not at all. But speaking of freaking out, Senator Feinstein, old Frankenstein, old Senator Frankenstein, Brother Frankenstein has returned. She's going back to her Senate role. Looking crazy as hell, but she says she's ready to roll up her sleeves and get back to work. What sleeves? She looks half near, about to, cross to the other side. What sleeves are you rolling up? The Grim Reaper sleeves? I don't know what sleeves you're rolling up. Just retire already. You were 89 years old. Live out whatever years you have left. Just go. What is with these people? It's because it's a cash cow, and they know it, and they cannot let go of the golden calf.
But how greedy can you be, though?
This is what I'm saying. You're 89 years old. I'm sure she has an accumulated wealth well in the millions. I'm sure of it. There's no way nobody can tell me different.
Damn,
I'm sure it's definitely in the millions. If it's not 10 or more, it's definitely if close to 10. If it's not 10 or more, there's no way.
It's like the other broad, the one that died, the other justice. Can't remember her name.
Oh, Ginsburg.
Yeah, knowing damn well she was dying.
Yeah,
knowing damn well she was dying, and then end up fucking up everything. Stop being fucking selfish. Bow out gracefully. If you still want to feel active,
but it's that privilege.
Feel active. Offer to be an ear,
mentor, ear.
It still keeps you. It still keeps you engaged.
Yeah.
But know when to give this shit up. Know when to, when no
they
one
can't do it. They can't do it. It's the privilege. It's the privilege.
These motherfuckers. But the thing that pisses me off is that people don't come out. They're being all nice about it. Oh, right. You were a trooper to the end. No, be a trooper to the end, and know you only got 15 minutes left, and you don't know when God's coming.
Right. Every time you close your eyes, you sleep with one eye open, thinking today. I made it. I mean, it's just like, let it go. If you waking up with anxiety, like, who is today? Just live. Let the shit go. You have done whatever you did, whatever kind of milestones you have broken, whatever kind of ceilings you think you've cracked, or allowed people to come to. Pat yourself on the back
and say, well done, and hand it off
to somebody else and keep it moving. Yes.
Sorry, give somebody else a chance. But you fuck it up, and they end up moving right on in, because they're going to change and break the rules all the way around.
That's it. That is it. Because they want to be able to choose their successor. They almost treat it like a royal thing, like a coronation. They have to choose their successor before they can give up the throne. We're not over there.
Oh, wait a minute. Shout out to Camilla, girl. Girl, you was playing chess on that one.
Side hoe.
Your name, you will not be called the royal consort. You will be called queen.
Just crazy. But shout out to them. That happened this weekend too.
Yeah, that's a hot mess. That she was doing some moves. You gotta hand it to the old ugly bitch. They were some old ass ugly ass motherfuckers. You know what they remind me of? You remember that movie from Jim Henson's The Dark Crystal? They remind me of this. They call it ski stacks or whatever.
They say Lady Nika looks like whatever. Like that's what they. They said it. I didn't say it. They said it.
Oh my God! How they go there with that one?
They did.
Is it the teeth? Is it the teeth? I don't know.
I don't know. It's the no. It's the whole. It's the face of the.
Oh
the
no!
witch little. Yeah.
No, well, we're going to talk about the roles. We don't want to start no wars.
But so yeah, but they do look crazy, and then too, yeah, just yeah. I don't see it. I don't know what it was. I really, honestly and truthfully, he was always jealous of Diana because Diana was more popular than he, and she looked and people were, more engaged with her because she was beautiful and pretty, and it made him feel unimportant
down to earth. Because remember, she was a teacher.
Yeah, and as the next in line of succession to the throne, he wanted people to adore him, and
not looking like that. That motherfucker.
Camilla's his
like a Muppet.
Even in that's all nasty. Like Camilla and him are like distant cousins. I think they're like third or fourth cousins.
That's nasty.
And not to also mention that Camilla's husband used to date Princess Anne.
Ooh.
Right. I mean,
I bet you one thing. I bet you that shit was real nasty looking naked. I know that was. You imagine? I don't even want to see that on. Don't even put that on Pornhub.
Don't do it.
You see, I think that they were related. They had the same. Yeah, they do have the same face and the same nose, just like the Slee Stack. They were going. It was just.
I'm not even going there with you. Yeah. So that's all I got for here. Anything else you want to add, and then we can go into who said that. Anything? Any questions?
I want to see no royal nakedness. You may go on. I said my piece. No royal nakedness.
Yeah, there will be no royal nakedness. Hey everybody, welcome into the chat. Hey, what's going on? Sorry, I was just running my mouth as usual. But
Patty,
thanks for coming.
Patty, talk about Clarence Thomas rumors that he was a long dong silver over there in DC.
Yeah. That's what she said during her hearing. She said long dong silver, but whose dong was he putting it in? Is the question. Like you said, but anyway,
he's over in DC. Then you don't know where.
Is that? Who said that? Who had been saying that? Who said that?
I'm sorry, what were you saying?
I was just laughing. Don't pay me no mind.
Oh, I was about to say he was probably hanging out with Marion Barry.
Yeah.
We've seen no.
Crack is a powerful drug.
Okay.
A lot of women around DC, huh?
Yeah.
Patty knows the DC dirt.
Right. And we talking about back in the, the heyday, the late 80s, early 90s. A lot of these politicians was
nasty.
Baked. Okay. They were baked. They were doing a whole bunch of whole lot of
when DC was a big slum.
I'll never forget that.
Hitting the pipe and getting the pipe.
Right. From each end.
Just all crack. There's a lot of cracking.
There's a lot of crack. Right. Figuratively and literally. All right. So first of all, with who said that, we definitely want to still keep Jamie Foxx and his family in prayer. There has been countless news articles, one that just populated today, that his inner circle is hoping for the best but preparing for the worst as he remains in the hospital under his unknown condition. Inner circle members are holding out hope that the actor will have a full recovery but preparing for the worst.
What, did he have a stroke or something?
That's what was alleged.
Because he's been in there for about 3 weeks now. Hey, Lemon, how you doing, man?
Yeah, he's been in there for a minute. He's been in there definitely for a minute. So I don't know, and it's really hush hush. But the movie he was working on, they've already taken him out of the film, and they plan to use his body double for the rest of the film with Carmen Diaz. So his body double will fill in for the rest of the film. He collapsed on April 11th. He's been receiving round-the-clock care in a Atlanta facility. But everybody's been kind of tight-lipped for what I do not know.
Yeah,
because it's just like, whatever's happening, I don't know how that would change anything. It's like you're going to wish for a recovery and hope for the best. But I don't understand the secrecy unless what has happened may be tied to something like maybe fentanyl kind of overdose kind of situation. Or something like that would bring to light maybe use. But I've heard before, allegedly, that he even said on one of these little podcast things that he likes the little snow. He likes to, ski around in the snow a little bit. So who knows? But
and just remember, when you get up in a certain age, you can't be doing that shit.
Right, this shit, and the shit ain't the same. The shit ain't the same.
No, because they cut it with everything. They cut it with everything.
It's like eating cereal as a kid. Your Frosted Flakes as a kid, your Captain Crunch as a kid, your Lucky Charms as a kid does not taste the same. Them Fruity Pebbles.
Fuck no, Captain Crunch will break your teeth now.
It'll scar up the whole roof of your mouth. You'll be
all slashed up. It ain't the same.
Captain Crunch bleeding from the mouth.
What is Razor Brand Crunch? All that hard shit.
Chewing on razor blades.
It's just a memory. That's all that shit is. It's just a memory.
Fucking the top of your mouth up, the roof of your mouth.
It'd be a whole week in your mouth. Will still have lacerations.
You sitting up there gargling with peroxide and nothing but foam coming out your mouth like you're like you've been
not because you got bad breath. It's because your shit
well, that too. A lot of these motherfuckers got tart breath, but no, they should leave that fucking cereal alone. That shit ain't the same.
Throw it all slashed up, and with those new preservatives in there too.
Sit there. Why is my mouth still bleeding? So you was chewing on razor blades.
You say it's not even good anymore.
No,
I'd be afraid to come there. And I see this. I got some Razor Brand Crunch downstairs now. I was like, I will never touch that shit.
You didn't sit there and let it just sit in the milk till it literally dissolve before you eat it.
Because next Tuesday, it'd be like, brother, they can't come.
But I can't make it.
All the damn blood coming out your mouth.
Looking crazy.
And I don't care how long you let it sit in the milk. It ain't going to soften it up.
Oh gosh. Speaking of softening up, it's about time to call it quits for Tardy for the Party star Kim Zolciak and her husband.
Glad to see that.
But I think this is a little scheme, though. I think this is a scheme that the little saltines are cooking up. That instead of paying taxes,
they're crafty. They're crafty.
Instead of paying taxes, what we're gonna do is divorce if we owe federal taxes. That way, it's either gonna lessen the bill to the IRS if we split or what have you. But they definitely owe the IRS about $1.1 million in back taxes, which has caused the couple now to say, you know what? It's your fucking fault I have all these taxes. I'm leaving.
She should have sold some of her hair.
Yeah. I think she's doing the divorce so she can go back to Big Papa and he can help her pay some of them taxes bills.
Did they put Sweetie up for sale?
Yeah. Sweetie was probably the first thing that was up for sale. Right on the auction block.
I used to hate to see her come on TV.
Just horrible. Every time she came on TV, I just go, what was that movie with Queen Latifah and the white guy, Steve Martin? He was like, is Master gonna sell us tomorrow? What's that movie? Every time I see her, that's all I think about. Like, girl, you couldn't just be any more like.
It's like, what? Oh my God! I said,
Massa,
you don't have no friends.
You can't. There's no way.
They tell you
Somebody
what it
would have
looks
slapped
like.
a real friend would have slapped the dog shit out of her ass. And like, I don't care how much TV time you think you're gonna get, you look a goddamn fool, point blank and period. But yeah, these saltines are splitting over the $1.5 million in back taxes. Now, mind you, see, they can get away with $1.1 million in back taxes. Can you get away with $200, $1,000, $500 without them coming and garnishing your bullshit?
It's snatching what's left of your check.
Right. You don't even got to owe them and they come get their money. But for some reason, for some wealthy, they don't, they look the other way. They really do. Now, Wesley Snipes, his bill was a lot less. They found him, threw him in jail. Little Kim, they found her ass, threw her little ass in jail.
Queen left a little
Horn
butt
Hill, the list grows and grows.
made her lose her mind.
Yeah, right. She went in and came out looking like the lady from Saved by the Bell, Lisa, the character Lisa, with all that shit on her face and looking crazy. Just poor thing. The IRS can fuck up your life, but they don't seem to be fucking up the rich white people's lives. I need y'all to start fucking up their life because they know a loophole. The loophole is divorce.
They're white. No,
No,
they white.
That too. Well, the second loophole. The first loophole is be white. Second loophole is get a divorce. So maybe they get a discount on that 1.1, and she can get her half from Big Papa, because that's what she's gonna plan on doing, bouncing around on Big Papa a little bit to pay off her side. I don't know.
I hope we made it. I hope we made it through COVID.
Because he
ain't heard no more about him.
Big Papa ain't make it. He don't make it. He don't make it. So no, I don't know what he's gonna do.
No.
But, yeah, I don't know what Corey's gonna do, but I tell you, Corey might let somebody put the tip in. I mean, $1.1 million, that's a lot. And Corey's got a big old backyard from what we remember from the show.
Yeah, Red Fox.
The ladies was always talking about his behind. So yeah, I think he might let somebody put the tip in for a good old $500,000. Well, if you got the cash, Corey's got that ass. Corey's got that ass if you got the cash. So yeah, let's see what happens with them. Other than that, let's see. I did have something else, but I don't think we downloaded it. Let's see if I can get it. Of some white folks acting up, saltines going crazy. You know how they do, because they don't have nothing else better to do with their time and or space.
No, but they've been getting their asses whipped lately.
Oh yeah, they have. But that's a ongoing occurrence because they can't help themselves. They think they own everything. So it's nice to see them get their ass beat occasionally. But usually I don't ever see them act a plumb fool at other Caucasian things that they hold so dear. Like, this weekend or past weekend, it was a celebration of the Derby. And I think this is it. I think so. I think so. Yeah, the celebration of the Derby. That's the whole horse racing thing where they act like they're at Ascot, which is, on the other side in England, where they get real dressed up like My Fair Lady with the hats and all that kind of stuff. But it's Americanized and it's white trashy. So you put on a hat, you drink whiskey, you get fucked up, and you act a plumb fool. But this is all white folks doing. And I love, if you can take a look at the black folks, how they're so sophisticated and make like, ooh, like, let's get away from these crackers. This is crazy. We're so undignified. We're so dignified for this. This is so undignified. It was funny to watch. So take a look at this brief thing. Hopefully this is the right. Hold on.
No, that's not the right one.
It's white folks. I mean, I'm sorry.
She got mixed up.
They all look alike to me, and when they're small like that. Let me see. Where are you? Oh, yeah, I think it's one of these. No, it ain't that one.
Hey, all black. He said he said YouTube didn't send notification.
Nope, that ain't it either. Well, no, they never do. Not for me anyway. And it's perfectly fine. But thank you definitely very much for coming.
Yeah,
And
just look for us around about that time.
yeah,
8:35 on Tuesdays.
right.
We're usually late. running
Yeah,
on
just a
running on
little
folk-
bit.
You're running on folk time.
Just a little bit. Okay, well, it was on King Jive's thing. I can't find it, but I know I'll find it later. But anyway, these white folks, because I ain't gonna spend too much time on it. White folks acting crazy at the Derby. They were drinking, and two white men got into a fight. One guy's his eye was very, very bloody. I mean, very bloody. Like almost
it was
like he pulled it out
fluorescent.
the almost like he pulled it out the socket or some shit. I was like, oh goddamn. Can he see?
Not anymore.
I was like, oh, Captain Jack Sparrow.
It didn't even look real.
He was right. It was like, arr. But yeah, nobody dropped their drink. I will say,
you made it with liquor costs.
Nobody dropped their drink. Everybody kept their old Kentucky Derby whiskey, whatever that shit was. Everybody had their glass in tow. Nobody spilt it. But you got to watch the black folks look like, oh, this is so ghetto. Like Nene looks like ghetto. They looking at the white folks.
Yeah, but if you notice the white women's, the black women's hats, they look like they went them in their mother's closet and grabbed.
Right, exactly. Right, like Mom, let me get one of your church hats. You know, like the first Sunday. Don't take my good one with the feathers. Take my other one. But it was just entertaining to watch that they get just as ghetto.
Tenari, what'd you say? You had a little bit of money. Your horse won.
Won. I know that's right. That is cool. So definitely check it out.
Is it easier to win than just playing the numbers?
I have no idea. I'm not a gambler. On King Jive's channel, I believe that's where I found it. And also, so YouTube stuff. I know that there was like this body off contest between VS Icon, which we talked about earlier, and one of these new content creators, not necessarily new, but new to this side of quote unquote YouTube, being the
new drawers.
But okay, as far as I mean, I don't know. I don't know. People act like, they have like these phenomenal supermodel bodies, and you guys have normal bodies. There's nothing wrong with either person's body. They're just normal. They're average women's bodies. It's nothing supermodel.
What I say all the time. Show me your stretch marks and I'll show you mine.
Right. There's no supermodel quality about anybody's body. Now, what I will say, not even necessarily talking about their bodies, but what they have on them. Now that's a cackle. Because VS had the nerve to do a bathroom like body walk or whatever with these big granny like bloomers on.
Call it like you see it. You stepped here and started. There's a big ass drawer.
They were big. I don't know what to call them. I don't even know what to call them. They look like drapes. They look.
I thought they were spikes, man.
Like curtains.
So they were pulled all the way up underneath the titties.
They were still loose. No, it was still loose. There was, if you look down at the bottom of it, was still space. Like it was
I didn't
loose.
want to look any further down. Already had to look.
They were loose, and they had to be pulled up all the way, like way up high. And I don't know. I just thought, like, just put some clothes on. Like, you don't need to do that. Just put clothes on. You just put some clothes on because
Granny depends.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. It looked like Granny Depends.
Too. You know that? Depends.
Like Granny Victoria.
They come like that black sexy Granny panty.
It was Queen Victoria's Secret.
Queen Victoria.
That was Queen Victoria's Secret edition. They took it way back. That was some big old bloomers. Like it wasn't cute and attractive at all. But whatever. If you say so. Yeah.
Yeah. This is the all black all day. We'll come back to that. We'll come back to your question at the tail end.
Okay.
I just wanted them to know that.
Okay.
Yeah, there was some. I was like, you know what? I'm just glad that that she had those on and didn't have no thongs on.
Yeah, well, the first one, she was in the car and she got out the car and she walked towards the camera to do like a little fashion thing. But then I was like, well, what in the camel toe moose knuckle thing was going on? Because even that looked like
flat ass. Flat.
It didn't look right.
It would not even. It wouldn't clap. It would not applaud.
No. It wasn't much going on. It really wasn't much going on. Nothing to like write home about. And I mean, granted, the men that probably flirt with her, their wives or girlfriends have the same type bodies. Like I just really, it's like
when you start getting older, the shit shifts and changes.
Yes, of course.
It does what it wants to do.
Yeah,
and it is what it is. It's like, oh,
right. I mean, it's cool about embracing your body. I don't have an issue with that. Embrace whatever changes you go through, and however your body looks is cool. But just about wearing stuff that's just a little like, if you're gonna be sexy, then be sexy. You can't be sexy in drawers.
There's a lot of pulling down drawers. It'd be like this. Be like.
And drapes.
You couldn't do two fingers. No. You had to grab and you had to get under the elastic. And
you better be strong enough, because if you ain't strong enough, that shit will snap you right back. Just
that'll yank your arm out of socket.
Goodness gracious. So please leave the drapes alone. Unless unless it's that time in the month and you gotta wear them granny panties, I guess. For that, if you still go through that, then I mean, but then don't come on camera showing that.
Yeah, some things are just not camera.
That's not cute. That's not cute.
YouTube adds 20 pounds. You heard about TV ads 20 pounds. But seriously, because the lenses on your webcams, they're fisheye.
Yeah.
They're not straight across. They're fist.
Yeah, but what about your cell phone? We talking about people that use their cell phone.
Yeah, the same thing. Because they add more girth in the background, and just some people just don't do it. So this stuff lives forever, and your kids might see it.
Not might see it. They will eventually at some point. And is that what you want to?
No, stuff like that. When you want to do stuff like that, you know what you do? You go on Patreon.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that ain't safe.
You got to pay for it.
Somebody gonna go over there, pay for it, take it, and then bring it back. So that ain't safe.
That's true. Well, no, it ain't safe.
But all I can say is present yourself at all times in the most best light possible. That's it. So don't be putting on the granny panties, the ones that don't put them on. Don't. Because that ain't sexy. Ain't nothing about that sexy.
Ladies, that's the equivalent of men wearing tighty whities
or the stretched out boxers that you like. Why don't you throw these shits away? These are my favorite boxers. Like
no, because they soft like Corinthian leather. You wear the motherfuckers for so long.
Just absolutely.
They don't even go over there and say, "Whoa, stuff on Pornhub." Look, yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous. All right, so I think I'm done. Any questions or anything? Let me just scroll and see what I see. And once again, thank you all for stopping by. And if you have any questions, you can put them back in the thing so then I can see them. Otherwise, I'll just scroll.
Yeah, all Black had a question because he had just jumped in. He might have jumped back out because he hadn't responded. Kat, what do you think? What do you think that mayor? Oh, think of that mayor of yours. I hope I'm on topic. I don't know what I was trying to figure out. What did he do?
What do you mean?
Brandon, whatever. I don't know what he did. What did he do?
Mayor of mine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not following what mayors.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out. Which mayor you was talking
about? Were you talking about the mayor of New York?
Mm.
I don't know.
Yeah, but like I said, I think they dropped back out though.
Oh, okay. Well,
'Cause they
if you
didn't.
come back in, I just need to know what mayor you're referring to,
Mhm.
so I know. But as far as you were referring to the mayor of New York, we kind of already discussed that. He's a former police officer, so I get him kind of siding and not, which I think is BS, because he should be just as outraged, because again, that's a citizen unaliving another citizen, which should not be tolerated by any means. You're taking the law in your own hands, which you're not supposed to do, because criminally that's a crime. But when you're white, you're right, and we try to always kind of justify that particular activity as it being somewhat heroic, because obviously the adversary seems to have been the aggressor, which was proven by even people who were on the train that did not happen. So then, therefore, it was even showing more of a meditated, I'm irritated with this person's existence and I'm going to do something about it. But we'll see what happens. Like I said, at the end of the day, I know what New York is going to do is throw money at it, and victims pay victims, which I think is sad.
Yeah, Lynn said she just throw them away for him.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta know when to let go of the drawers.
Yeah, just go buy some new ones.
Mm-hmm.
Go buy some new ones. No way your drawers should be saggy.
But buy them in person. Because I've been buying some drawers off of off of Amazon, and they've been coming. Those like feline. Because I like the boxer briefs.
Korean drawers.
But the damn material's so thin. I want some cotton. I want something comfortable.
Korean drawers.
If it was, yeah, because they be small as shit. If they're not made for black folk. You always gotta look at the size.
Be to crush your stuff. Crush your stuff.
Oh, it won't be nothing left.
Can't breathe.
Nothing left. Mm-hmm.
Singing and speaking in soprano all day long.
What language is that? Oh,
it's mighty high. Yeah. So I don't know, but I just don't.
Patty, you say you throw your husband's drawers away too?
Yeah, I mean, just go out and buy some new ones.
That and after certain age,
yeah. You
shouldn't buy white anyway.
Well,
give me color.
Well, I mean, some people try to think they still got it, so they get the white to prove, like, see, I ain't stained these. These are not stained. But I mean, I get it.
I want matching drawers.
Not matching drawers.
That's right. You get the top. So you have an ensemble.
Oh, you get the whole.
I just want you to know that I've taken the time.
Oh, did you get the whole sets? That's crazy. It's too lazy to go.
To No Face store order.
And they came looking kind of weird. I bet.
Yeah, because I'm like, shit, this feels like Spanx.
Yeah, because what Amazon does is they just have a whole bunch of merchants, and it's like somebody goes, "Oh, I got it," and then they let them ship, and they'll say it came from so and so, and then when it comes back and you have a grievance, then you get to realize that, oh no, that is actually not the company that you ordered from. You actually ordered from, Ping Pong Poo over here.
Yeah, because Amazon has purchased the majority of the stores. The smaller stores.
Yeah,
and it's actually them.
They work with these merchants.
Patty say no white drawers.
Just absolutely crazy. But
because if they wash clothes like I wash clothes, I throw all that shit in the wash.
Yeah, and then too, after you wash a couple of times anyway, they start to. I mean, even if they good at some point, you keep washing them, they will start to, kind of break down after a while. It's like, get some draws. And they might, and I get it, they might be your lucky draws. You might have gotten a lot of poo-tang or dangalang in them draws, so you think they're your lucky draws and they never fail you, and you always get some poo-tang or dangalang in them draws. But let them draws go. Let some more draws have an experience. Let the Victorian Secret draws go.
I just wish they would stop putting dick holes in men's drawers. We don't use them.
Right. Well, that is. Well, yeah. That is sure.
And to the lesbians, I get tired of y'all buying up all the sizes. God. They buy up all the goddamn sizes, man. You can't get no big sizes because they got hips and body. You cannot
Wow.
find no men's decent size drawers, either too small or too big.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's with all the clothes now. They seem to be on there's no in between. It's like either you're kind of short and husky ish, or you're tall, or you're super tall, and it's just like there's no in between.
Yeah. No, white underwear just gives me juvenile.
I don't recall myself even wearing white underwear as a kid. Really?
No, that's all we had.
No.
Fruit of the Loom.
Yeah. Yeah, but
See,
mine's
my
are
husband doesn't like white.
colored.
She doesn't like white panties. No, them things get sucked up in your ass enough times. They're not gonna be white.
Like mother of pearl.
Yeah. They always all white. Mhm. Cotton crotch.
all white.
Cotton crotch. It's like, no, I don't even think you got a crotch left in those. See, I remember in the 90s we wore Calvin Klein boxers and with low jeans.
And low jeans.
Mm-hmm. Now, see, boxers were comfortable to a point, but sometimes they would cut.
Mm-hmm.
That seam would cut, or you be hanging out of the boxers,
right?
Because they weren't the long and the thigh back then.
And I'm straight, by the way. Yeah, we know. He said they're not sexy. Who said that? My husband doesn't wear. Well, white.
No, white drawers.
White,
like I said,
I mean,
and it's funny to see.
You're trying to be all sacred and holy. Oh, we have a guest. Oh, hey, Tony.
Hey,
how are you?
How are you?
How are you?
I'm getting you guys.
We're hanging. We good.
Right. Yeah. What's going on? Nice to see you.
It's nice to see. I'm so glad, Cap, that you had so much fun this past weekend. Oh my God, I am so glad you had that fun.
Oh yeah, I had a great time yet again.
He ain't tell us yet, but he was acting a fool.
I know he acted a fool, but see, that's not for everybody to know.
It's not, but I did not.
Right.
I was well behaved,
and I even went looking. I went on Sean Bradley's page. I was looking hard. I couldn't find it.
So
they
Cap,
locked that. They locked that shit down.
Well, look, Nate. So Cap.
Yes.
You act when Bobby Brown fat ass got on there and tried to do what he did.
No, good. No, see, like with Bobby Brown, he really impressed me. He was good. Now it was the other ones that I was like, nah, if you don't sit your ass down.
But you know what? And we do have to say, rest in peace to Johnny Gill's mom, because she passed before that show.
Right before the show, yeah.
Yeah. And that was sad. But no, I just came up here to say that, y'all know I love y'all.
Oh, love you too.
That.
Y'all know I love y'all.
Yes. We love you too.
Yeah, we love you too.
But,
believe me, when you're missed.
But see,
hey Detroit, what's going on?
But that's the whole thing. Like, I may not drop down all the time, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
But if I see some bullshit in the chat, it's gonna go, and y'all don't say nothing.
And that's perfectly fine, and it's okay. And a lot of times people even be like, "Oh, I'm sorry I missed it, but I caught the replay." It's okay. Like I get it. It's everybody's not gonna be up, but it's as long as you support. That's all.
Right? No, but you know what I miss? I miss the midday Cap.
I'll try to bring that back. It's always that my schedule, like it starts off like where I can do it, and then the schedule gets kind of hectic, and I gotta.
So even if you don't do it, at 12 or whatever, like if you do it early in the morning or at like 3:00, like I miss that.
It is so early.
I'm calling you out about the midday Cap.
Yeah, you're not the only one. Anthony McNear always calls me out about that too. But I don't know. I have to get a good scheduled rhythm going that I can work with. That'll be consistent, because usually
because you know what, and what a lot of people have to understand is the so-called pandemic even though it ain't over, because folks still catch
That
COVID.
too.
Oh yeah.
They talking about, it's over. Yeah, okay. Believe it if you want to.
Right. That's what I'm saying. The so-called pandemic ain't over, but it's
Mhm.
over.
Right.
And we, and like I said, next month I'm back regularly because
Mhm.
my mom's stuff is taken care of. God rest her soul.
Mhm.
Oh.
Is taken care of.
Mm.
And I've only been missing because it's just these 3 full-time jobs is a
Mm. Yeah,
mother.
they can. They can be.
Mhm.
They can be.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But
But
just
You know,
let
handling.
them have them.
yeah.
Yeah, but just when you're handling somebody else's affairs, I said
Yeah.
Yeah.
because I'm going through that too. It's like, oh my god, it's just give me a break.
Mhm.
And it's crazy because it's just like, sometimes folks only get enough insurance
Mhm.
to
To
and
cover the
and and,
basics.
and this is
Yeah.
something that we actually need to actually speak on this,
Yeah.
is that sometimes folks only get enough insurance to get them embalmed in the ground, but we don't think like,
Well,
and Cap, I'll talk to you about this offline, and
mhm.
you can talk to Nate about this. Is
Yeah.
that after my mom's autopsy,
Mm.
because we had to have an autopsy,
Mm.
and
Mhm.
then you got to pay for the autopsy. You got to
Mm.
pay for this and that, and then you got to pay for headstones and everything
Yeah,
else.
Right. Right.
And a lot of folks don't get that.
Yeah, and you do
no,
also have to pay to open the ground. Like you don't,
Yeah,
yeah,
you
that's
do.
a
hmm
whole nother five
That's a
thousand
whole.
dollars, or $1,000 depending on what cemetery you use, just for them to open
So
a burial plot. So yeah, it's a
right,
lot.
no. So so instead of us having to pay for her to get her oh, Cap, I'm gonna call you and I'm gonna let you
Okay.
know. But
Yeah.
before, it's gonna be a 219 number when I call you.
Okay.
Okay. So before all of that, it was just like my mom was dropped, and a whole lot of other things that had happened before
Mm.
all of that, right? And so she paid for her insurance faithfully
Hmm.
every month,
Right.
but it's still at the end of the day, after the her funeral, her burial, and
Hmm.
everything else, it still wasn't enough.
Mm.
You guys need to make sure that you have at least
Least.
50,000 or more,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you just have to.
Mm.
And we need to make that prevalent. And the bad thing about this is that sometimes we don't even know, we looking for a money grab. It ain't even
Hmm.
a money grab,
Right.
but
Right.
we
hmm
got to know how much our people need.
Hmm. Yeah.
Well, first too, we need to start discussing what it is you actually want, what the wishes are,
Mhm.
Right.
and it's easier and cheaper to buy beforehand than when you
Mhm.
need it.
Right.
That's exactly, yeah. So I have Nate, and you said that, and I'd already gone ahead, and because I've been doing these 3 full-time jobs, it was just like,
Mhm.
you
hmm
know what? I'm gonna go ahead and play for my plot right here.
Mhm.
hmm Yeah, because I already have with my my wife and kids. We already had that, and I changed my mind because I did not want to be buried. I wanted to be cremated. So that
Oh, okay.
changes.
See,
So that changes, some of the things there, and
so
I don't want a service.
right,
So
okay,
I
so
so my just going through it with my mother, and she was the same way. She didn't want any service or anything
Mhm.
like that. And she wanted to be cremated,
right,
and she has the was a mausoleum and all
Yeah.
that kind of
right,
stuff. And um, just for what the funeral directors did, they did the cremation. There was no viewing, wasn't really any service,
Mhm.
type of thing, and that was less than 3,000.
I
Mm.
had to fight. Okay, so Nate, and you say
Mhm,
that I'm the oldest, and I know what my mother said, right?
mhm.
And I had to fight with my younger sister because they wanted my mom always said, just put me in an urn or whatever. But then when she got cancer, y'all remember when I told y'all she had cancer. And she may have told my sister something different.
Right.
And still to this day, I was like, you know what? I'm fine with wearing a necklace every day with her ashes in it. But she's buried, and she's buried 4 plots away from my grandma.
Well, that's where living will and things of that nature come into
Yes.
play, where you
She didn't
make
have
your
that.
wish right, and a lot of times
Yeah.
you
And
don't.
you have to when you
You
have
have to.
you have multiple children and you have that one kid that's an asshole.
Yeah, or that one. Yeah, that one
Well,
something their
yeah,
way.
you because they show their ass, girl. They
Yeah,
show their ass,
yeah,
They do.
they show that
and
whole
and
ass.
and just to keep harmony within the family,
You kind
Yeah.
of go along to
it
get
is to the
along.
person's best interest to have it in
Yeah.
writing and have
Yes.
it notarized.
Right.
But
You
nothing
have
could have
to.
took place. Nothing could have took place if I didn't sign. And the only reason why that I did anything with the insurance and everything else was to make my younger sister happy. And so it's been me working 3 jobs and everything else to make sure that the foundation and everything else is going to be laid for her.
Yeah.
And that's why I haven't been around
Mhm.
in the evening times a lot.
You have to handle your
Your business.
responsibilities. You know.
Yeah, it's not an easy task, but that's why
No.
in educating each other and kind of knowing what to look for, and even the type of insurances that a lot of our grandparents and thing has, where the salesperson was coming to collect, those are always small. They weren't large.
And
No,
or
they
predator
weren't big at all.
or
So,
predatory. I mean,
and
how do
so,
you have somebody come around every month, collect $10 for the past
Right.
50 some odd years, and
right,
it's only 500? Okay,
500, right?
right.
let's be
500 or
realistic. A lot of
$5,000.
that stuff
Because
is predatory.
Yeah, it
if you
doesn't make
gonna
any sense.
bury, if you gonna bury anybody, this is not cremation. But if you're gonna bury anybody, you need at least $15,000,
Yeah, you need more
and that
than
ain't got nothing to do with the headstone or nothing else.
mm-mm.
That's why I'm going right in the easy bake oven,
You know what?
and I am perfectly
Well,
fine with
now
it.
you can plant yourself. Instead of
Yeah,
going to the cremation thing, they turn you into like
like a tree
soil
or
and
something
stuff.
or whatever.
Then they plant you as a tree, and then you become a tree.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
but I
a lot
just
of
wanted you guys to hear my voice
yes, of
and to
course. It's
know that
always
even though I may not drop down, but I'm the sniper in the bush.
yeah, we know, and our prayers are definitely with you.
Only
As you,
headshots, only headshots.
yeah.
Only, but I seen no. I'm so glad that Cap had actually got to do something this weekend that I didn't get to do. I
Oh,
still haven't seen New Edition. Oh my god, I am so look,
that
Cap.
was my first time actually seeing them in
Right.
concert. It was
So
decent.
Cap. So next time it's a concert, can you
Mhm.
I'ma call you.
Okay.
But I need for you to let me know so I can book my stuff and I
Okay.
can come.
I got you.
Please.
Yes, ma'am. That was actually but I mean that was kind of the group thing, because I like I said I've listened to New Edition, but I wasn't like a big fan. But the show was nice. The show was nice. Like I didn't
No,
think
so right. So what I'm
Keith
saying
Sweat was
is
as
I just need to
ghetto,
be the
but
special guest. I don't record and do all of that stupid stuff that other folks do, but I need to be the special guest.
special guest. Okay,
The
I see what I
special
can do. You're a special
non-sexual
guest.
guest.
Okay, special guest. You silly.
Oh, I love how I make Nate. You see how I make him blush?
You funny talking about some special guests.
Yeah, Yes. Yes, but we're almost 2 hours into this. And so it's about time for us to wrap it up because it ain't nothing going on in the beef sector or nothing else to go on.
It is. It's nothing at
Just
all.
big drawers. That's all.
It's just big balloon drawers.
Nothing but big drawers.
Big, non-elastic boomers.
They
Ballooning
comfortable
everywhere.
looking, but god damn, I wouldn't have showed them off.
Yeah, you know.
I swear I thought they were Spanx though. I swear. I
Nope.
swear God, I thought it was Spanx.
Nope.
Because they were pulled so far up.
Chill. Chill. We gotta pull into the Mo3 whatever sector that is to have something good going on. And I ain't even finna be bothered.
Yeah, I haven't even.
Yeah, don't. It ain't even worth it.
It ain't worth it. Now, put it like this: enjoy the calm because you know some foolishness.
Yeah, because the
storm.
Oh
wait. So wait, we got a calm coming, right? It's Tuesday, and we got a calm coming. Oh, it's about to be a murderous weekend.
Oh, it's about to be something.
It's about to be something.
It always is about to be something. You know, the weekend always brings.
Yeah.
They say everybody working. Yeah. Everybody working, got bills to pay.
But last week, the whole week last week was a murderous week. I was like, oh,
yeah.
And that's crazy because I'm just like, y'all got small kids and y'all out here fighting and all that. I got better things to do. I missed a whole lot because I decided to go outside.
Well,
yeah,
a lot of
what? And that's another thing too, because it's gotten warm and people are outside doing whatever it is they need to do.
Right, and we'll continue to be outside. So
exactly,
yeah, a lot of this stuff is kind of like unfortunate, but you put it on yourself. So when people are like, "Oh, I called the cops," like, okay, I mean,
you called the cops.
It was an altercation.
But see, this is my whole thing: is you called the cops, but you gave somebody your address,
right?
Make man. Anyways, I love you, Cap. I love you, Nate.
I love you too.
Love you too.
And I'm gonna drop down, but I'm gonna need that one to make sense. Cause if I give somebody my address, they're gonna have to deal with both holsters.
You can't say come and whoop my ass or come whoop my ass in the address. Say whoop your ass and then you go see. Somebody whooped my ass.
Right.
You asked for the ass whooping, you got what you asked for.
Yeah, make it make sense.
Yeah,
you got to be bothered with both holsters because it ain't no fight. It's just gonna be some unclippings of the unclippings, but
stand your ground.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's either that or you have people calling the FBI or the police trying to press charges on other folks, and they, you can't even articulate enough where the officer understands what you're saying, but yet you have many.
Where's Rebel's ass at?
Rebel is in his skin. Rebel is in his skin. He's chilling. He's all right. He just texted me today. I think we just texted today. He's fine. He'll probably pop his head around. You know how he does. You'll catch him on his in his conversations in his car. Probably.
His morning rides and
and I miss everything. And so I was actually I was like, oh, I had a few minutes to jump up here and talk to y'all and let y'all know, even though I may not be in the chat, but if
we know that tonight.
Mm-hmm.
We definitely know that.
If it's a person in the chat and they get sniped, it's me.
Well, see, a lot of times I don't even see it before you or Nate kind of knock it out the box. I don't see it. So and that all goes to thanking you all for making sure that the foolishness don't even reach my site. But no, I don't even really see it. So sometimes I don't even know. Nate has to tell me later on, like,
I used to later on down the road, but it's been a long while. Everybody's growing up. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, because it's like, to truth be told, how you conduct yourself, people who come to wherever you are will conduct themselves accordingly, and then they can go act a fool wherever else they choose to act a fool. But it's all about how you conduct yourself. So when people allow mess and bullshit, it's because that's what they allow. So it'll constantly keep festering. But if you don't really have that kind of atmosphere,
Also,
and don't get
Cap,
me wrong, I will check a bitch,
Cap,
but yeah.
we got to meet up this summer. Just
Okay.
me. It's just me and you.
Okay,
Ooh,
don't say that too loud.
baby.
Don't say that too loud. You're gonna give me in trouble. You're gonna give me in trouble. You'll give me in trouble. Don't do that.
Oh no, I'm actually coming to the area because I'm
Okay.
going to meet with my only living grandparent.
Oh wow. Awesome.
Yeah, yeah. So it's
Awesome.
my only living grandparent,
Okay.
and in that meeting, I said I can't come that close to Cap and Nate and not meet with y'all.
Sure. No problem. You
Yeah.
just have to let us know. We can. I
No,
can
I'm
definitely.
and that's gonna be done on the back end. That's not gonna be done
Of course. Of course.
over here.
Of course. Yep. But yeah, no. Of course, wouldn't mind at all. I would have met
And
Miss T and them, but I was
I
going
don't
away at the weekend.
I don't know how I'm liking these dreads. Did you cut the dreads? I don't know how
No, I
I'm
didn't cut
liking
them. My
this.
niece just did the twist to them for my trip.
Child,
So, yeah.
I'm still trying to figure this out.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's what the people were saying in Orlando. They're like, I really like her hair. Thank you. My
yeah,
niece did.
I mean, but
But yeah,
they were
shout out to her.
longer.
She did her thing. Yeah.
No, but when I come to that, because my people are from Virginia,
Oh, cool.
so when I go down there to visit with my grandma, I'm actually gonna draw. Oh, I don't even know if I want to say this out
Mm.
loud because God, the police in Virginia are
Oh yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah.
Yeah.
Be on your P's and Q's, child.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Because they
so
will ticket you and make you come all the way back
they will. They
to
will.
be in court. They won't let you pay it. So just
No,
make
they won't.
sure. Not
But
all the time.
no, when I come down that way, I'm gonna contact you and Nate,
Okay.
Okay.
and we can do lunch or whatever. But
Uh,
just know I'm not far away.
all right.
I'm
That's
here,
awesome.
y'all.
We know we definitely appreciate it. And prayers to you and to you, Nate, because of course I know Mother's Day is coming up. So
Mhm.
Oh, and this is
Yeah.
you know what? So Cap,
yeah.
can you give me something? And how do you deal with the first of everything? Because that's what I'm dealing. You know, my mama is a
Yeah.
cancer like you.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, and I'm trying to figure out how to deal with the first. I'm trying to deal with
Um
the first Mother's Day, birthday, all of that.
yeah, and for me all of that runs together. So it was the death, the Mother's Day, the next my birthday, her birthday, and that kind of stuff. So May, June, July is always like,
Oh,
okay, hurry up and let this get over with. But how I've the first one was kind of numbness because I was still in kind
mm-hmm.
of organizing and kind of keeping everything in order. The first one, second one, I was a little more hands off, so I was able to experience a little more. And some were a little harder than others. Mother's Day is mostly harder because a lot of my friends are mothers, and they do a lot of
Okay.
the children do a lot of
Mhm.
Mother's Day stuff. So a lot of times I like to just reclude myself and not really get involved. Although they'd be like, "Oh, just kind of to thing." But yeah,
So
Mother's Day is usually
I'm
uh
not telling my kids that
Mhm.
I don't want to do anything for Mother's Day.
right.
Mhm.
I'm not being wrong on that one.
No, but you don't want to knock them for at least trying to show you because you
Yeah.
are
Let them do something for
yeah.
you.
They want to make sure that they show their appreciation to you, which I think
Mhm.
that is acceptable. Even though you may not feel in the mood to really celebrate, they still want to show their appreciation to you as their mother. So that part is I think that part is cool. I mean, I don't have any kids, so it's not that sort of thing.
Well,
But
you got 3
I got
kids, but
tons
a lot of people don't know that you got 3 adult kids.
I have a lot of godchildren and nieces and nephews. I'm good. But yeah, no, I definitely the first I was in go mode, so I didn't really I felt it, but I didn't really feel the first birthday, Mother's Day, and all. Mother's Day was right after, so I didn't. That was totally. It was just the day. I mean, I did stuff that I know she would. I went to her church and kind of did that kind of stuff and spoke at her church in reference to her, but I couldn't. I didn't.
Was the first see, the first birthday after she passed was a month and like a week, and that was crazy for me. And so I had been up that whole day waiting on her phone call.
Yeah, I think those are those routines that you normally had.
Yeah,
those are the roughest because it's like, damn, something's missing,
Right.
and you're trying to put your finger on it. Then when it finally dawns on you, those are the roughest things.
Yeah.
For me, it is.
That part is true. Like I miss my mom calling, "This is your mother. Give me a call," and it's like, I know,
right. And then I think a lot of people take for granted that call is always gonna come, and then when it don't, it's just like, ew.
But the one thing that I have is I have recordings from my phone, and I was able I lifted them off of my phone and stored them away. So I still have those. I can hear her voice and everything, but I'm still in that I have to take care of her wishes first mode.
Right.
So
and that's why I haven't been around, because it was just like I just wanted to make sure that like her tomb, her headstone, and all of that stuff is taken care of.
Everything's straight. It's straight and so.
It's
So
gotta be good. It's gotta be good.
Yeah.
But
oh
no,
because that's
no,
like
no. But
that's like I told Cap. I was like, I thought something was wrong with me because I didn't have it. I wasn't emotional. Her passing and everything for me. So I just went ahead. I took care of everything. Because you become their caretaker. You're taking care of them, and then you're still making sure you're being the advocate. Handling all their medical and everything. So and I'm still not in it. And I figured, I'll break down or whatever. And it's like, nope, they ain't got time. And you just keep right on rolling with it, and even my sister, because my sisters, and we're not emotional people, so it's hard for us. It's even hard for me and my sister to hug because I know that we love each other. She's like, that type of thing. You have any problem, it'd be like this.
It's on and popping, right?
It's on and popping, that type of thing. But we're not the I love you, give me a hug or whatever.
Right.
But we always make ourselves available for each other.
Right.
So
that's important.
I just thought it was kind of strange. It's like, well, damn, I thought I would be crushed. Not the way like when my father passed, when I was totally devastated when my father passed. But I mean, to the point where I was angry with God. That type of thing. Okay.
And what's crazy is right now, it took me about 2 months ago not to be angry with God about this whole thing. It took me to know that it's God's will and this is what I'm supposed to do. And I need to make sure that my kids don't have the feeling that I felt, even though you're going to miss that person deeply. And this is what my sister is going through right now, because my mother would have told anybody. She figured out all her mistakes with me because I'm the oldest, and did stuff different with my sister.
Yeah.
And so that's my thing. It was like, I was just like, even though remember, I told y'all I had moved and I took care of my mother and I came back. But we had so much time to spend together in that last year and a half that it was just like, I don't even know what to do right now.
Yeah. But that's the things that you will draw from. I know I have a lot of, my mother was a noter, so she later on she started to text, but she would write notes. So there was always a note somewhere that would speak to you directly, even though she wasn't talking to you at the time. Almost like she
Yeah.
purposely did it for that time. And
Yeah.
it's old notes. So it'd be like, there's plenty of notes now that I do have that reflect on just things and situations that I may be going through right now. And I literally can read it and hear her and know that's her and everything. And so,
I put my mother's key.
Mm-hmm.
She had a key fob and she had a key.
Mm-hmm.
And I put her key in the door on a regular basis. That's not, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, oh.
Yeah, no, it happens. I mean, it comes in waves. Like I told Nate, it does come in waves, and it's okay to feel those because you have to. It's a loss that you won't get back, but what you're left with are memories and those times where you kind of weren't paying attention. Those things will come back to you. Those little moments where you were just doing whatever you were doing and something was being said and you didn't quite and then you'll relive all those moments, and those little things will bring clarity. And then it's selfish of us to want someone to be in a state of suffering or in a state of not wellness just because we want them here, when the actuality is that they are free from.
Right. And I thought that, and I had to apologize for to a few folks because I was like, my selfishness has gotten the best of me because I don't know how to deal with the new normal. And I may not actually speak to you, and I may not actually what's the right word? I may not interact with you, but it's because this selfishness that I didn't know would come into play has come into play.
Yeah.
And it's something different when, like, with you and Nate, y'all just don't even realize how much y'all bring clarity to me because we all share this same thing.
Yeah.
And I thought that losing a child was crazy. But it's just like, that was my child. And but then when you lose a parent, it's just a whole nother thing because, like, right now, my mom would secretly be listening in to this and nobody would ever know it. She listened to the thing, like, she wouldn't listen to the beef sector shit. Right. But if something was important to me, if like with you, Cap, she like, you're like, what if you go on her phone and her stuff, this stuff was important to her because she knew that you meant that much to me.
Right. Yeah, my mother would be the same way. Like she'd call me later and be like, why'd you use them words? Why'd you feel like she would get on me about certain stuff, but she would listen to support. She's always
right.
So
Right. And that's
I
the
get it.
thing. It's just like, like my mama was like, oh, so in politics or whatever,
Right.
what are you listening to?
Mhm.
And I was like, you gotta listen to Christian.
Mhm.
And she was just like, okay. And then
Right.
she was like, but it ain't that many of us over here. And I was like, no, just
Oh,
listen. And
right.
so she started listening, and that became a part of her YouTube,
Mhm.
you know. And it
Oh,
was just like, you ain't got to listen to the bullshit I listen
right.
to, but this
Mhm.
is an important part.
Right.
So she never dropped down or nothing like that, but
Oh,
she listened to you, and that will always be with me.
right. Yeah.
Mm.
And I
Yeah.
thank you for that. I definitely thank you for sharing that. That made my heart much lighter. And it's hard losing a parent. It is. I
Mhm.
mean, no matter how old you are, young you are,
Yes,
that
this is
parent,
someone who has known you from the
yeah,
very beginning,
You're
right,
right.
and that has
right,
always been in your life.
yeah,
And this is in reference to you were saying you're being selfish. It
hmm
is not that you're being selfish. You're in a period of mourning,
Hmm.
and you
Okay.
mourn for the rest of your life.
yeah,
It
Right.
becomes a lot better, and it's up to the other people. I mean, once you explain to them, this is what's happening in your life, this is what
hmm
you're going through at the time. This is up to them to make the adjustments.
And
hmm
that's why I think in my selfishness, I said, Cap, when you gonna bring back the midday?
Oh no, that's
Because
Mhm.
that was my
good.
mom's favorite thing. That was her favorite thing.
Oh, that's
Mhm.
awesome.
That was her
Yeah,
favorite
no,
thing.
and
So
that's not selfish. That's not selfish
Yeah,
at all.
that's not
I think
that
it's better.
I wouldn't
Yeah,
classify as selfish.
yeah, that I wouldn't classify that as selfish either. But yeah, I will work out a schedule to actually get that going again. It's just I had a lot of
I
stuff
know.
trying to balance.
I know.
I'm doing
It
it
was just
because
in
the
my
editing part
selfish.
is the most. Because I am unfortunately somewhat a perfectionist. So when I'm doing that, if it's not quite,
Oh,
I just
I'm sure you've heard him on
yeah,
on some of those clips.
yeah. When I was just
Yes.
like,
Where he
forget it.
just
Yep.
and he's like,
I was just like, I'm
He
tired
was just
because it's
like,
like
I'm done.
3 o'clock in the morning, and I just
He was like,
am
I'm
done. So
done.
yeah, but
But
I trust and
no,
believe.
but that
I
was a
try to make
thing
sure.
um that was a thing with me and my mom, right?
Mhm.
Because she was like, did you hear the midday recap? And she loved your Trump. She loved
Oh,
everything
thanks.
horrible that you said about. Hey, that was her favorite. And it was
Oh.
just like, and I had actually had a chance to just me and her have the
Mhm.
conversation.
Mhm.
And I was like, you see this nigga finna try to run again for president?
That's too funny.
Oh, but no,
mm-mm.
but no, I love you guys. I love you
Uh,
guys, and
We
I'm
love
gonna
you
drop
too.
down. But I just want to come up and say thank you guys for
Mhm.
everything.
You're
oh, no
quite
need,
welcome.
no need. You're
Yeah.
quite welcome. And thank you for all that you do
Mhm.
as well. And thank you both for all that you do, even when I'm not paying attention or just like in my space. You guys make sure that
That's what I get paid for.
I,
I don't get paid.
I don't make as much money to have a payroll like some folks.
No, I know.
I
I
know,
know.
just
I
teasing.
know. No, no, no.
But thank you all so much for what you do.
Oh, no problem. But
Um,
and give me 2 weeks. I will be here like I used to be here all the time.
Oh no, take as
Look,
much time as you
look,
need,
you
Tanari.
do what you need to do.
Yes.
We understand.
We
Believe
are
me, we understand.
right. If not for nothing, we definitely understand. So
Hmm.
it's not anything where you have
Uh-huh.
to I'm demanding or anything that you have to be here.
You're
You
not
can be here.
demanding that,
I
but see,
know,
that's
but
the
you can be
thing.
here
You're
when you can, and if you don't
yeah,
feel up to it, it's okay. I do understand it. It does happen in waves. Like there are moments where you will feel great, and then there are moments where you won't feel so great.
right.
You have to kind of take it all in. So kind of it's a process. It's a transition for everybody. It's a
It
transition
is.
period.
Yes,
So not only is it a transition for the loved one, it is also a transition for you
that's right. Because it
because
is a
it's
new
a new
it is a
life.
new normal.
Yeah,
It's a
Uh,
it's
new
a
uh,
new
life.
life for
and
you.
the new normal is actually not even. I hate the new normal.
Yeah,
Like
I
I
mean,
Yeah.
need
yeah,
like
yeah,
and that's what's crazy because it was like today. I needed to talk to my mama, and it was just
mhm,
like, oh my God.
yeah,
What do you do when you
yeah.
can't
But
talk
those
to somebody
moments,
that you need to talk to?
yeah, but those
You still
you can
talk to
still
her.
pull from. Yeah, you still talk to her because
Hmm.
she will answer you in the same way that she's always
Always
answered you.
does.
I talk to my mom all the time, and I
And
always
that's the
hear her
now, and
the
that's the
same way.
strangest shit. It's
Yeah,
like, it's like
yeah,
you thinking that, oh my God, that the connection is broken, but it's
yeah.
not.
It's not. No, it's
And that
just
is
different.
that is the strangest shit. It's just different, and you have to
Yeah,
listen.
yeah.
You
You
know, you
really
have
do
to
because
listen.
you will hear those same things that you used to be like, oh, you'll hear those same kind of,
Hmm.
good and well, like that kind of thing. You'll hear those. So,
Yeah.
yeah, and you'll get there. I mean, it's not, for everybody, it's not a thing. I was pretty close to my mom, although we fussed a lot because we were the same thing. But
Hmm.
as far as like how we thought alike. So anything I did, I can constantly hear my mom kind of giving me a now you know better or this, that, and the other. So it was always a thing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, no
Well,
problem.
it's quite all right. It is quite all right. So with that said, to all of the mothers out there, uh, mothers, godmothers, mothers to be,
Mhm.
happy Mother's Day
Like
because
mother's light.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
you know,
Mother's Light.
just
Uh,
anyone who steps into that role.
Yeah, yeah. Anyone who steps into the role of a caring, nurturing, supportive individual uh,
Hmm.
as a mother, because it's a lot. It's a role that takes on a lot, and it's very challenging. And I salute you all. Even those that have gone on, you still, that kind of never leaves. You're still in that capacity in some way, uh, because the connection never dies. It's all energy and it's all just transferred. So,
Hmm.
God bless you all. And if nothing else, have a great night. Be safe and throw away them goddamn bloomers. And moist. And if nothing else, you got anything you want to add, sir, as we head on
everyone,
out?
everyone, please take care and enjoy
Yeah,
your Mother's Day.
yes, definitely. God bless and good night.
Good
Peace.
night.